Toyota's reputation for lasting forever in this country isn't hype. And with the RAV4 topping New Zealand sales charts year after year, and Toyota's making up close to a quarter of every new car sold here, that trust has been earned over decades. But here's what most Kiwi buyers never actually check. A handful of brands come close enough to Toyota's legendary lifespan that the difference is close to meaningless in real-world New Zealand driving. And every one of them costs noticeably less to fix when something eventually goes wrong. If you're buying a vehicle to keep for the next decade on our roads, the total repair bill matters just as much as how many kilometers are left in the engine. Drop a comment telling us what region you're driving in, because gravel, hills, and long distances between towns change this whole conversation depending on where in the country you live. Let's break down the 4 brands worth cross-shopping against Toyota before you sign anything. Starting at number 4, Kia. Kia doesn't have Toyota's multi-decade reputation in New Zealand, but recent model years have closed that gap fast, and the warranty backs it up. Kia's factory warranty here runs longer than Toyota's, which means the engine and transmission, the 2 most expensive systems to replace, stay covered well past the point where a Toyota owner would already be paying out of pocket. On the servicing side, Kia's average annual cost sits close to Toyota's, but independent mechanics consistently report cheaper parts pricing across common, where items like brakes, suspension bushings, and sensors. Models like the Kia Sportage and Sorento have built up genuinely strong long-term ownership reports here, holding up through repeated wet weather driving and long highway stretches between towns without the suspension and electrical issues that used to plague the brand a decade ago. The gap to Toyota on pure longevity still exists, and we're not going to pretend it doesn't, but it's narrower than most people assume, and the money saved on servicing over 10 years can easily outweigh a small difference in expected lifespan. If you put a Kia through serious South Island driving, let us know in the comments how the undercarriage and cooling system held up. Number 3, Mazda. Mazda doesn't chase headlines the way other brands do, and that's part of why it's underrated here. Mazda's engineering philosophy mirrors Toyota's almost exactly. Keep the mechanicals simple, avoid unnecessary complexity, and stick with naturally aspirated engines that don't need constant attention. The CX-5 and Mazda 3 have developed a quiet but consistent track record of high-kilometer reliability, and Mazda's annual servicing costs run at or below Toyota's, according to independent comparisons. New Zealand has a specific wrinkle worth knowing about here. A large slice of our used car fleet arrives as Japanese imports, and Mazda's simpler mechanical layouts tend to be genuinely easier and cheaper for local mechanics to service regardless of whether the car came new from an NZ dealer or arrived secondhand through the import market. Mazda has also kept parts availability strong even outside the main centers, which matters enormously in a country this spread out. It's not flashy, but a Mazda bought and serviced on schedule is a genuine long-term proposition on New Zealand roads, and it'll cost less at the workshop getting there. If this is new information for you, that's exactly why hitting subscribe matters. We're breaking down brands most Kiwi buyers overlook. Number 2, Subaru. Standard or widely available all-wheel drive gives Subaru a practical advantage that goes beyond a spec sheet the moment New Zealand's sealed roads turn to gravel, which happens fast once you head into the high country or off the main routes. The Outback and Forester have built genuinely loyal followings here, specifically because of that, handling everything from central Otago backroads to wet Wellington commutes without drama. Subaru's older boxer engines carried a well-known head gasket issue that could get expensive to fix. Being a boxer design means there's effectively a head on each end, doubling the potential cost, and that's worth knowing if you're shopping used, which a large number of Kiwi buyers are. But Subaru moved away from the faulty gasket material years ago, and on recent model years that problem has largely disappeared, with overall servicing costs now sitting competitively close to Toyota's. Where Subaru genuinely earns its spot on this list is avoided cost, fewer accident and drivetrain-related repairs thanks to standard AWD traction, combined with strong resale value built entirely on its reputation for handling New Zealand's tougher back roads. When you factor in fewer surprise repairs and a healthier trade-in figure, total cost of ownership over a decade frequently comes out ahead, particularly for anyone regularly driving unsealed roads or towing a boat or caravan. If Subaru's gotten you through a South Island winter or up a farm track, we want to hear about it below. Number 1. Honda. This is the brand that goes toe-to-toe with Toyota on its own terms, and on the repair cost side, Honda actually edges ahead in more than one independent comparison. Honda sits in the same top tier as Toyota, Lexus, and Acura for long-term mileage potential globally. And locally, the CR-V and Civic both show strong odds of clearing well beyond 250,000 kilometers with nothing more than scheduled maintenance, which matters a great deal in a country where cars tend to get driven hard and kept for a long time. What separates Honda from Toyota in practice isn't a massive reliability gap, because there really isn't one. It's what you pay when routine repairs come due. Honda's average servicing cost consistently comes in at or below Toyota's across New Zealand comparisons, and labor costs at independent mechanics tend to run cheaper too, since Honda's mechanical layouts are widely understood by every trained mechanic in the country, not just factory dealer techs, which matters a lot given how many Hondas here arrive as used Japanese imports that end up serviced well outside any official dealer network. Honda's CVT transmissions in certain older model years drew criticism, and it's worth knowing before buying used, but that issue has largely been engineered out of recent generations. In a country where cars take a real beating from hills, gravel, and long distances between towns, Honda's combination of near-identical longevity to Toyota, consistently lower repair costs, and a mechanic network that genuinely rivals Toyota's reach makes it the strongest case on this entire list for outperforming Toyota, where it actually counts your wallet. Here's the honest bottom line. None of these four brands is going to dramatically outsurvive a Toyota on pure kilometers. The data doesn't support that claim, and we're not going to pretend it does, especially given how dominant Toyota's reputation remains across this country. What the data does support is that Kia, Mazda, Subaru, and Honda get remarkably close to Toyota's legendary lifespan, while consistently costing less to service along the way. And for most Kiwi owners keeping a vehicle for 8, 10, or 12 years, that servicing bill adds up to real money over time. If this changed how you're thinking about your next purchase, hit like so more New Zealand drivers see it before they walk onto a yard. Subscribe if you want more straight talk comparisons like this one, because we've got more brands worth reconsidering coming soon. And drop your region in the comments along with which of these four has actually earned your trust, because real ownership experience from right across this country beats any spec sheet we could put in front of you. Buy smart, not by trend.